Breaking news just detonated across Viking Nation, and the aftershocks are about to reshape everything you thought you knew about this franchise. A beloved legend might be playing his final chapter. A rookie lineman desperately wants to stay invisible while protecting the future. A veteran quarterback is already paying dividends before the season even starts. And the front office is secretly planning for next year's draft while this year's Super Bowl window stands wide open. Each of these 4 revelations exposes the hidden currents running beneath this Minnesota Vikings empire. And by the time we're finished dissecting every angle tonight, you'll understand exactly why Monday Night Football against Chicago isn't just J.J. McCarthy's debut. It's the beginning of a story that could define this organization for the next decade. Viking Nation, are you ready to discover what's really happening behind the scenes in Minneapolis? Because the first bombshell involves the most emotional homecoming in recent NFL history, and it comes with an expiration date that nobody wants to talk about. But hold on, Viking Nation. Before we dive into that heartbreaker, let me ask you something that separates the real fans from the bandwagon jumpers. If you believe this team is destined for greatness more than you despise the Packers, smash that like button right now and show the football world that Minneapolis is about to shock everyone. Because what I'm about to reveal will have you questioning everything you thought you knew about loyalty, sacrifice, and what it truly means to come home when time is running out. The first story centers around a phone call that changed everything, involving a man who sacrificed millions just for the chance to wear purple one more time. But here's the devastating twist. This could be the last time he ever gets that opportunity. Adam Thielen didn't just return to Minnesota, he orchestrated his own farewell tour, and the people closest to him are already preparing for goodbye. His former Carolina Panthers teammate Xavier Legette dropped a bombshell revelation when he said, quote, "I was shocked. But for real, I understand that he knew this was going to be his last year. Him playing where he started and having that chance to go back and do that. I mean, it's good for him," unquote. But that's just the beginning of this emotional roller coaster, folks. Because Thielen's wife Caitlin revealed in an Instagram story that Adam literally pushed Carolina to make this trade happen. Confessing, quote, "Adam loves his team, he loved his receiver group, everything. But there's something special, obviously, that he wanted to finish here and be here for if it was an opportunity. So yes, he did push to come back because he really was excited about the opportunity. And he knows the system pretty well, unquote. And here's where it gets absolutely heartbreaking, Viking Nation. Caitlin admitted that just 2 days before the trade materialized, they thought it was over. They believed, quote, "It's not going to happen. No one's going to budge. The deal's not going to get done. Like, it's just not going to happen," unquote. But destiny intervened for the Detroit Lakes native, who ranks 3rd in Vikings history in receptions and receiving touchdowns. Adam Thielen accepted a $2 million pay cut, abandoned guaranteed money, and relocated his family across the country for one singular purpose: to complete his story where it began 12 years ago. And Viking Nation, if this really represents his final chapter, then Monday night against Chicago transforms from J.J. McCarthy's coronation into Adam Thielen's farewell symphony. Caitlin captured the emotion perfectly when she said, quote, "How special. Adam grew up the biggest Vikings fan for him to come back and end his career with the team that gave him a chance. And he started with no matter what happens this year, set aside, it's just so special for him. And he's really at peace with it and being home," unquote. How many legends get to choreograph their ending like this? And are you emotionally prepared for what might be Thielen's last dance in purple and gold? And if you think that story tugged at your heartstrings, wait until you hear about the rookie who's desperately trying to stay out of the spotlight while carrying the weight of protecting franchise history. While everyone focuses on J.J. McCarthy's debut, there's another first-round pick who understands that his success will be measured by how invisible he remains on Monday night. Donovan Jackson, the 24th overall selection, knows that offensive linemen make headlines for all the wrong reasons, and he's determined to ensure that never happens. Jackson wants what he calls, quote, "quiet excellence," unquote, as his goal for his NFL debut, understanding that the best offensive linemen are the ones you never notice during the broadcast. And here's what makes his situation absolutely crucial. Jackson will be protecting McCarthy's blindside while the young quarterback navigates his first NFL start under the Monday Night Football microscope. ESPN's Kevin Cypher captured the excellence Jackson brings when he wrote, quote, rookie guard Donovan Jackson pancaked the Patriots defensive back on a screen that Aaron Jones Sr. took for a touchdown, couldn't get the defensive back's number because he was flying through the air, unquote. That's the kind of devastating blocking that gets offensive linemen excited in a film room, but Jackson also knows there are moments that haunt rookies forever. During the preseason, Jackson lost his footing and allowed a defensive tackle to get pressure on McCarthy. And while it was explained as getting tangled up with a teammate, it's still a massive defender getting into the quarterback's personal space. No offensive lineman wants to see his quarterback getting pressured, especially not a first-round rookie protecting a franchise quarterback making his debut. Jackson understands that getting selected at number 24 means pressure and expectations will follow him throughout his career, and anything less than being a dominant starter qualifies as a disappointment. But here's the beautiful paradox of his position. The games where Jackson offers his most invisible play are often the contests where he delivers his most excellent performance. Normal fans at home and in the stadium follow the football as the quarterback throws to receivers and running backs advance for good gains. Meanwhile, Jackson operates in the background, withstanding the defensive line's advances and allowing the skilled position players to earn the spotlight. His perfect world involves getting invited into touchdown celebrations where the big guys get to spike the football alongside the stars. Monday night, Jackson confronts a Chicago Bears defense that's better than most people realize, with legitimate talent throughout that front seven, so he'll face an immediate test of his abilities. Shining on the road in prime time would represent a tremendous accomplishment for the rookie. And if Christian Darrisaw suits up at left tackle, Jackson will have elite protection, helping ensure his NFL debut proceeds smoothly. But the night isn't over, because what comes next proves that sometimes the most important moves happen before anyone takes a single snap. And speaking of preparation and mentorship, let's discuss how one veteran signing has already transformed this team's championship prospects before the season officially begins. The Minnesota Vikings made what seemed like a simple backup quarterback acquisition when they signed Carson Wentz. But that move has already paid massive dividends in ways that statistics can't measure. Wentz isn't just holding a clipboard, he's serving as the perfect mentor for J.J. McCarthy. And their collaboration has McCarthy feeling, quote, extremely prepared, most prepared I've felt in my life, unquote, heading into Monday night's showdown. And here's what makes this partnership absolutely brilliant. Wentz experienced virtually every challenge that McCarthy will face throughout his NFL journey. Wentz entered the league as the second overall pick with enormous expectations, so he understands the pressure that highly touted quarterbacks must navigate. He quickly developed into one of the league's elite signal callers, including a season where he was the front-runner for MVP honors before suffering a season-ending knee injury. Sound familiar, Viking Nation? Because McCarthy is an early draft pick with championship expectations coming off his own season-ending knee injury. Wentz represents the perfect mentor for McCarthy, and the veteran has also navigated locker room controversies that can help the young quarterback avoid similar pitfalls. In 9 NFL seasons, Wentz has started 94 games for 5 different franchises, accumulating over 22,000 passing yards and 153 touchdown passes. That experience becomes invaluable when McCarthy admits, quote, obviously we still gotta get third down red zone, all that stuff in, but I feel like just talking to Coach Wentz Carson, he's breaking down when he was going through his first start and when he was playing at Soldier Field at night, and just first games, you never know what you're gonna get, so you could prepare as much as you want, but they could do a completely different thing. The most important thing is just staying locked into the simple things, locked into what my job is, that play, and then reacting to what the defense is giving me, but very prepared, I'm very confident, unquote. Wentz shared specific insights about playing at Soldier Field under the lights, about debut performances, about how defenses can present completely unexpected looks regardless of preparation. But McCarthy isn't just relying on Wentz's guidance. He's surrounded by excellence throughout the roster. Justin Jefferson leads a receiving core that includes TJ Hawkinson and newly acquired Adam Thielen, plus running backs Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason, behind a revamped offensive line expected to be the franchise's best in years. Even if McCarthy makes mistakes, he knows that Brian Flores' defensive unit has his back and can keep games competitive. The Vikings have constructed the perfect environment for their young quarterback to succeed, and Wentz's mentorship provides the final piece of that championship puzzle. And listen, the next chapter reveals how this organization is simultaneously planning for immediate success while secretly preparing for the future. While the Vikings chase the Super Bowl with their current roster, General Manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is already identifying prospects for next year's draft, and the position they are targeting reveals a glaring weakness that could sabotage everything. The Minnesota Vikings have developed an urgent need at cornerback, and there are some fascinating prospects emerging that could reshape their secondary for years to come. Beyond Dwight McGlothern and Zemiah Vaughn, the Vikings lack promising young cornerbacks to develop, and recent draft picks Mickey Blackmon and Kyrie Jackson haven't worked out for unfortunate reasons, though the organization continues seeking talent at the position. After spending the past 2 off-seasons making the trenches their primary focus, cornerback will likely become this off-season's priority, and the top of the NFL draft represents the probable location where the Vikings will address this need. The first week of college football delivered several impressive performances from potential targets. Mansour Delane from LSU dominated in the Tigers' victory over Clemson, allowing just 1 reception on 8 targets for 21 yards, according to Pro Football Focus, while intercepting 1 pass and breaking up 2 others. What really impressed scouts was Delane's patience in man coverage, letting receivers make the first move without committing to any specific direction. Exactly the characteristics that thrive in Brian Flores' defensive system. Davison Igbinosun from Ohio State showed improvement against Texas, demonstrating willingness and effectiveness in run support that reminds Viking fans of Antoine Winfield making similar plays in the past. Jermaine Matthews Jr., also from Ohio State, excelled at clicking and driving on the ball in zone coverage, a crucial skill in Flores' defense. Despite allowing 1 touchdown, he recorded an interception and pass breakup against the Longhorns. Other prospects worth monitoring include Lemondre Joe from Colorado State, Eamon Allen from Sam Houston State, Keontae Scott from Miami, German McCoy from Tennessee, Avion Terrell from Clemson, A.J. Harris from Penn State, Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina, and Domani Jackson from Alabama. Viking Nation, how confident are you in this team's current cornerback situation when the front office is already scouting replacements? And does the secondary have enough talent to support a championship run while Adofo-Mensah plans for next year's draft? The irony is that this Vikings team has championship talent across most position groups, but 1 weak link in the secondary could derail everything they've built. And the coaching staff knows they're 1 injury away from exposing their biggest vulnerability to the rest of the NFC North. And if this week felt like a whirlwind of emotions and revelations, what's coming next could be the defining moment that determines whether this franchise finally captures the championship that's eluded them for decades. Think about what we've uncovered tonight, Viking Nation. A beloved legend playing his farewell season, a rookie lineman carrying championship dreams while desperately avoiding the spotlight, a veteran mentor who's already transformed the quarterback room before taking a single snap, and a front office simultaneously planning for immediate glory and future success. These aren't just random storylines. They're the interconnected threads weaving together what could become the most memorable season in recent Vikings history. Adam Thielen came home to chase 1 final ring. Donovan Jackson wants to anchor the offensive line that protects championship dreams. Carson Wentz is sharing the wisdom that could unlock J.J. McCarthy's superstar potential. And Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is building both for this year's title run and next decade's sustained excellence. But here's the question that will define everything. Can this team overcome the cornerback questions, the emotional weight of Thielen's farewell tour, the pressure on Jackson to perform immediately, and the expectations placed on McCarthy's 22-year-old shoulders? Monday Night Football against Chicago isn't just a season opener, it's the first page of a story that could end with the Lombardi Trophy finally coming home to Minneapolis. And if you believe this Vikings team has championship DNA flowing through every position group, if you trust that Kevin O'Connell has built the perfect system for McCarthy to thrive, If you know that this defense can carry games while the offense finds its rhythm, then hit that subscribe button right now and join the Viking Nation faithful who understand that this season feels different than all the others. Because when Adam Thielen raises that first touchdown ball on Monday night, when Donovan Jackson opens perfect running lanes for Aaron Jones, when J.J. McCarthy throws his first NFL touchdown pass with Carson Wentz cheering from the sideline, you'll remember exactly where you were when this championship journey began. The real question isn't whether this team can win games, it's whether they can handle the pressure of expectations that come with being built for greatness. And the next 17 weeks will reveal if this generation of Vikings can finally deliver what their predecessors couldn't quite reach.